In the headlines of this hour on VTV News, government committed to avoiding power shortages by 2025 and beyond. Later on, AIPA 45 opening ceremony kicks off in Laos. And in our world news, world leaders say ending war in Gaza is a necessity.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is currently 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Dylan Lei with the latest updates. Now, Prime Minister Phie has announced a decisive commitment to ensuring electricity supply and national energy security for 2025 and the following years. During a meeting with ministries and sectors, it was reported that total electricity production and imports reached 232.8 billion kilowatts-hour in the first 9 months, an increase of over 11% compared to last year. The Prime Minister praised Vietnam Electricity, or EVN, for guaranteeing no electricity shortages in 2024 and completing the 500 kilovolt Line 3 project to the 6-month schedule. To secure electricity supplies for 2026 to 2030 with a 12 to 15% growth target, the leader urged immediate action from ministries and corporations, including issuing a decree to promote rooftop solar power development. Additionally, the Prime Minister tasked the Ministry of Industry and Trade, along with other relevant units and agencies, to develop operational scenarios ranging from electricity production to consumption, focusing on institutional improvement, amending the electricity law in the upcoming 8th session to increase decentralization, eliminate bureaucratic hurdles, revise the National Electricity Development Plan 8, diversify power sources including nuclear energy, and commit to transitioning from coal to clean energy. On Friday morning in Vientiane, Laos, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn participated in the opening ceremony of the 45th ASEAN Inter-Parliamentary Assembly, or AIPA 45. Lao National Assembly Chair and AIPA President Sejongphon Phongvihan underscored the event's significance in fostering dialogue among ASEAN member states' parliaments. The Assembly adopted the theme, the role of parliaments in enhancing connectivity and inclusive growth of ASEAN, aligning with the 2024 ASEAN theme. In a message delivered to the Assembly, General Secretary and State President To Lâm highlighted the critical need for strengthened connections between AIPA and ASEAN, emphasizing that ASEAN cooperation forms the foundation for inter-parliamentary collaboration, while AIPA acts as a catalyst for diplomatic relations among member states. Remittances flowing into Ho Chi Minh City are rising, reaching $7.4 billion in the first 9 months of the year. This figure represents approximately 78% of last year's total, marking a 10.5% increase year-on-year. Notably, remittances from the Americas increased by over 4%, while those from Oceania surged by 20%. Although the third quarter saw a decline in remittances from most regions, Europe experienced a notable increase of nearly 23% compared to the previous quarter. Experts predict that remittance growth will be maintained at around 10% annually this year, fueled by the seasonal uptick as global retailers prepare for major holidays. Ho Chi Minh City recently commenced a project entitled Policy to Effectively Promote Remittance Resources in Ho Chi Minh City from now until 2030. Implementing this project is expected to better apply remittances to socio-economic development in the area.
In the first 9 months of the year, $2.8 billion was sent through this remittance company, an increase of more than 11% over the same period. Besides traditional markets such as Europe, America, Australia, and some African countries, remittances sent from the labor force abroad in Asia shows a positive growth rate, accounting for 53.8%.
Phần lớn là khoảng 60% About 60% of remittances are transferred from the labour export market, while the remaining 40% is the traditional market. The labour export market shows strong growth, increasing over the years.
In the first 9 months of the year, remittances to Ho Chi Minh City reached $7.392 billion. Judging by current trends, remittances in the fourth quarter are expected to achieve a high growth rate.
The city is building an investment guide for overseas Vietnamese that will provide investment information on real estate, high technology, services, and tourism. At the same time, the city is issuing remittance bonds.
We should find ways to attract this source of remittances to invest in the city's key projects, such as hospitals, schools, traffic infrastructure, and other investment fields. Overseas Vietnamese need to see that their money contributes to the city's development.
In addition to traditional markets, Ho Chi Minh City will build new labor markets to send the workforce abroad, as they will contribute to the growth of remittances in the future.
According to Google, by 2030, the annual economic impact of digital technology in Vietnam could reach $74 billion. Vietnam currently ranks among the leading countries in the region in terms of digital transformation, but it is essential to ensure that all citizens can access and apply digital technology. This was a key topic at the multilateral forum organized by the Ministry of Planning and Investment in collaboration with Samsung Vietnam. The Inclusive Technology Initiative, launched by the Vietnam Innovation Center, aims to concretize solutions for digital transformation and new technologies in education, healthcare, and employment. The National Strategy for Developing Vietnam's Digital Economy and Society aims to equip everyone by 2030, targeting over 70% of the working-age population to receive basic digital skills training. This requires building an inclusive digital society where everyone can access and utilize technology to improve their quality of life. Exporting handicraft products has brought Vietnam over $3.5 billion annually. Craft villages generate about $2.9 billion and create jobs for nearly 2 million workers. However, in the context of economic difficulties and consumers tightening their spending, finding markets for these products through trade promotions is considered necessary.
Made from white clay in Chuk Thon, Chi Linh District, Hai Dương Province, these 71 ceramic products were presented at the International Home Decor and Gifts Fair to engage customers in southern Vietnam. Trade promotions like this allow traditional products to reach more customers.
Through previous exhibitions, especially this one in Ho Chi Minh City, we hope to connect Chu Dao ceramic products and the Chu Dao brand to domestic and international customers.
For skilled artisans in manufacturing fields such as weaving and wood carving, trade promotion demonstrates Vietnam's cultural identity. It also allows artisans to learn more about market demand and consumer taste.
Finding a market is the most difficult problem for craft villages. Participating in an international fair like this is a great opportunity to promote our latest products.
Customers can touch and see the actual products. Those wishing to experience can make small products right here.
Last year, for the first time, we had a booth at the Milan Fair. And immediately after that, our handicraft products such as silk, rattan, and bamboo won orders and were of interest to international friends.
Vietnam's handicraft exports are estimated to reach an average annual growth rate of 8%. If an investment is made in developing a systematic design framework for the industry, the export turnover can reach $10 billion in revenue by 2030. However, attendance at more specialized exhibitions and fairs is needed to achieve this figure.
Vietnam's export-import sector continues to shine, with total trade surpassing $610 billion as of October the 15th, yielding a trade surplus of over $21 billion, according to the General Department of Vietnam Customs. Key product categories achieving over $1 billion in trade include computers, electronics, mobile phones, machinery, and textiles. The end-of-year demand in major markets like US and the EU remains a crucial export driver as global retailers boost their inventories ahead of significant holidays. Projections indicate that total export could reach approximately $400 billion this year. Vietnam's fresh coconuts have officially hit the Chinese market, successfully clearing customs at various land border checkpoints. At the Hiko border gate in Yunnan province, which borders Lao Cai in Vietnam, 2,700 fresh coconuts from Bến Tre province, totaling over 21 tons and valued at approximately 110,000 RMB, or around $15,000, were cleared. Meanwhile, at the Hữu Nghị Quan border gate in Guangxi province, over 22.4 tons of Vietnamese coconuts worth 98,000 RMB, or about $14,000, also entered China. This marks the first successful export of Vietnamese coconuts through Guangxi since receiving approval from Chinese authorities last August. Vietnam's tourism sector aims to directly contribute 8 to 9% to the national GDP by 2025. This goal is outlined in the government-approved master plan for the tourism sector from 2021 to 2030, with a vision extending to 2045. By 2025, Vietnam aspires to establish itself as a premier global travel destination with strong tourism development capabilities. By 2030, the sector is expected to evolve into a key economic driver, prioritizing green growth and positioning the country among the world's leading tourism destinations. Additionally, all coastal tourism areas and related businesses are committed to eliminating single-use plastics and non-biodegradable bags. Coming up next on VTV News. Requests promoting restoration of agricultural production. And projects to reduce ocean plastic waste yield tangible results. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Prime Minister Phie has issued an official dispatch to promote the recovery of agricultural production following Typhoon Yagi. The aim is to stabilize livelihoods and help the agricultural sector meet its 2025 growth targets. The Prime Minister tasked the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development with forming working groups, mobilizing experts, and deploying teams to assist affected households in resuming production. The ministry will also monitor the aquaculture environment in storm-hit areas and provide guidance on selecting suitable aquatic breeds. If the domestic supply is inadequate, importing breeding animals and materials should be facilitated. Local authorities, especially in Quảng Ninh and Haiphong, were urged to swiftly implement support policies for affected households and production facilities. The Prime Minister also stressed the need to monitor market conditions closely, ensuring coordination with price control agencies to prevent speculation, hoarding, and price manipulation. Eliminating temporary and dilapidated housing has been a key focus for Thái Nguyên province in recent years. This initiative gained even more attention from local authorities following the aftermath of Typhoon Yagi, which buried many houses under landslides. To date, many households struggling with housing issues have received support to build new, more secure homes. And our report is in Định Hóa district.
In just a few days, the new home of this household will be completed, replacing the seriously run-down house they built in 1988. As an elderly, low-income family with health issues, they have faced ongoing financial challenges. The new house is not only a source of joy for them but also for the local authorities and the surrounding community.
The house was in such poor condition that our neighbors and local authorities came together to help us rebuild it. Now, we feel secure even during storms.
By 2024, our commune had 157 households classified as poor or near poor. This year, support programs have been provided to 6 of these households, helping them rebuild or repair their dilapidated homes. Of the 4 households currently building new homes, 3 have completed construction, and the rest are in progress.
In addition to aiding low-income families living in temporary or rundown houses, the local authorities have also extended support to residents whose homes were damaged or buried by storm-induced landslides. There were 36 such houses in the commune, with 1 completely destroyed.
For those whose homes were uninhabitable due to natural disasters, the District People's Committee has worked with commune authorities and residents to allocate land for new housing. We've also called on businesses and local benefactors to assist with construction costs, ensuring residents can rebuild their homes and stabilize their lives in a timely manner.
Thanh Nguyen Province has conducted a review of families affected by storms and those living in temporary or dilapidated homes. From 2024 to 2025, the province plans to eliminate 319 such houses, with an estimated budget approaching $517,000. In the second phase, Thanh Nguyen Province aims to remove an additional 300 temporary and dilapidated homes.
Following the principle of leaving no one behind, Thanh Nguyen has mobilized resources to effectively eliminate temporary and dilapidated housing for impoverished households, while also providing housing recovery and resettlement support after natural disasters.
Innovations for collecting ocean plastic waste are gaining traction in central Vietnam, delivering environmental and socio-economic benefits. These initiatives are part of the Reducing Ocean Plastic Waste in Vietnam project, co-organized by the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment and the International Union for Conservation of Nature in Vietnam. Previously discarded items such as plastic bottles and fishing nets are now being sorted and collected. For instance, fishermen in Phie recently retrieved nearly 700 kilograms of plastic waste, while those in Bình Định brought back 2,200 kilograms since February. Waste workers or collectors, also called dong nat, are often considered unemployed or underemployed in Vietnam, but they play a crucial role in keeping the country clean and green. As Vietnam has no official recycling network, these people collect, sort, and recycle a significant amount of trash that would otherwise clog waterways and worsen pollution. To enhance the visibility of their role in formal waste management, more than 3,000 workers across the country have been promoted to Green Warriors to contribute to plastic recycling projects.
Previously, I collected and sold tradable items like cardboard, metal, and plastic bottles to earn money, but I didn't earn much. Now I'm working for this company. They trained me to classify plastic waste so that I could sell discarded items to more traders.
Nguyen Thị Cúc is one of the Green Warriors that have become a key force in environmental protection.
We have become more aware of plastic's negative effects on the environment. We have encouraged other waste collectors to swap to this job and attend training workshops on plastic waste. We have provided them with both financial and material support, such as giving away bicycles and supporting monthly housing rent costs.
After 3 years of working with the Plastic Waste Recycling Initiative, the contributions of more than 3,000 informal waste collectors have been formally recognized. Every October, they gather to party and share their knowledge and experiences with each other. This occasion also aims to honor their humble yet meaningful jobs.
I have never thought my life would change like this. Now I have a stable job and earn enough money to feed my family and pay my grandchildren's school fees.
Our desire is to foster the circular economy and empower this informal sector to help waste collectors earn stable incomes.
The role of informal collectors has been recognized and promoted. as they have contributed to improving the efficiency of waste collection and recycling, while promoting sustainable behavior and creating positive and lasting changes in the community.
French company Bretonov has introduced the first ever automated Vietnamese spring roll production line, combining modern French technology and traditional Vietnamese cuisine. Join our trip to the company to discover how it works.
Pierre Offret, founder of Bretonov, and his son held a small event in Pont-Aven to introduce their automated Vietnamese spring roll machine. More than 90 have been sold so far.
Many Vietnamese and Asian people ask me if I could invent an automated spring roll machine. When I saw the process of rolling Vietnamese spring rolls by hand with repetitive movements, I thought I could do it to help people reduce the time required to make them.
After months of careful research, hard work, and dedication, Pierre Offret invented an automated Vietnamese spring roll machine that imitates the manual process of rolling Vietnamese spring rolls. Each spring roll is filled with typical ingredients and wrapped in a rice paper wrapper. The production line, fully automated and capable of producing up to 2,500 rolls per hour with just one operator, handles all the steps involved.
The machine takes rice paper wrappers one by one, so they must be of good quality and not stick to each other to avoid tearing. The thickness of the rice paper wrappers must be the same. Technicians can't adjust the machine's parameters continuously if they vary in thickness.
The automated Vietnamese spring roll production line has made traditional Vietnamese spring rolls more popular. We are seeking ways to standardize Vietnamese products to meet the requirements of the EU market. The machine will help Vietnamese spring rolls reach a wider consumer base in France and Europe.
Bretonov's equipment is a testament to the combination of traditional Vietnamese cuisine with the technological expertise of a French company. This promotes the culture of a specific Vietnamese dish and helps Vietnamese products become more popular in France.
In Lang Son Province, the Bắc Sơn Golden Harvest Festival is underway. It features a wide range of unique cultural and tourism activities deeply rooted in local traditions. Highlights include rice harvesting competitions, rice pounding, black bánh chưng or square sticky rice cake wrapping contests, paragliding, and raft racing. Bắc Sơn District is located within the UNESCO Global Geopark in Lang Son Province. It has many significant heritage sites and offers rich potential in terms of landscape, history, culture, and distinct tourism products. The province aims to boost promotion and attract domestic and international tourists through the festival. Coming up next in our world news. World leaders say ending war in Gaza is necessity. And later on, France struggles to dry out from flash flooding. Now moving on to our world news, the U.S. President Joe Biden and the German, French, and British leaders on Fridays stressed the immediate necessity for ending the more than year-old war in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. In a joint statement, the U.S. President, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, French President Emmanuel Macron, and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer agreed on the immediate necessity to bring the hostages home for their families, to end the war in Gaza, and ensure humanitarian aid reaches civilians. At a meeting in Berlin, the four leaders discussed events in the Middle East, in particular, the implications of the death of Yahya Sinwar, who bears responsibility for the bloodshed of the October 7th terrorist attack. They also discussed the conflict in Lebanon, where Israel is fighting Hezbollah. A year of war in Gaza has caused unprecedented and wide-ranging devastation of the labor market and wider economy in Gaza. Unemployment in Gaza has soared to nearly 80%, while economic output has shrunk by 85%, according to the International Labour Organization.
Palestinian families struggle to find work with unemployment in Gaza soaring to nearly 80% since the Israel-Hamas war erupted. Many are looking for any job opportunity to provide food and drink for their families.
We are at this moment in time not living, only due to not being dead, no more. With regards to me, I am working in iron as I am a worker, even before the war. I was in a better position than I am now, but with the unemployment rate rising by 80%, I am struggling, and not just me. All the youth, the workers, and unemployed in the north of Gaza are broken.
Displaced Palestinians, who once owned thriving businesses, are now finding themselves jobless with no employment opportunities.
I wake up at 3:30 a.m. and knead a whole bag of flour and cut it up into pieces and separate them, ready for the baker who bakes it. She gives me 30 shekels. For food or drink, or to charge your mobile phone, or to give your child pocket money, or to get medication for your husband.
There was nothing left for us. The job was gone, my home was gone, and we didn't have anything left. This war came and destroyed everything. It destroyed our future and the future of our children.
Palestinians in Gaza either lost their jobs entirely or picked up informal and irregular work primarily centered on the provision of essential goods and services. Before the crisis, the unemployment rate in Gaza was 45.3% and 14% in the West Bank.
Massive floods caused serious damage and power outages on Friday in parts of France's mountainous southeast region after days of heavy rain. It is considered the most severe flooding in France in the past 40 years. According to France's Prime Minister Michel Barnier, firefighters and other rescue teams have been involved in about 2,300 operations, some of which have been life-saving in several parts of the country. 6 French departments were placed on red alert, the highest level of warning for heavy rain and flooding in the country. French weather agency Météo France also issued an orange alert in 33 southern provinces. National Railway operator SNCF halted regional trains between the cities of Lyon and Saint-Étienne. Local train services will remain disrupted for several days. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has warned that monkeypox is still spreading in Africa. So far, 18 countries on the African continent have reported Mpox cases. The death toll from Africa's ongoing Mpox outbreaks has reached 1,100, with a total of 42,000 suspected cases since the beginning of 2024. Central Africa is the hardest hit region, accounting for 86.4% of all cases reported and more than 99% of all Mpox-related deaths. Over $800 million had been pledged to the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention for its fight against a surging Mpox outbreak on the continent. But donors have remained slow to disburse funds and provide vaccines against Mpox. Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download a mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.